Hello, this is video 3, walking through the Warm Homes Local Grant EOI form. So we're now on to section 5 of the form, and this section looks at past performance and the request for funding. As with the other sections, there is a guidance section at the start, and there are 4 questions. The first is a table asking for the previous delivery capacity of the EOI, of the local authority or group of local authorities. And this is looking for the first month of the 6-month window, and then the number of homes that were completed in that 6-month window. Now, to sort of explain that a bit more, what we're looking for is your best previous performance in a 6-month period on a previous HUG or LAD scheme. So we are looking to, so if I, for example, look at 1st of February 22 and then plug in 100 homes. So across that 6-month period, I delivered 100 homes. Then I would have an average of 17 homes, 17 and a bit homes per month. Now, stress here, this is your best previous performance on a HUG or LAD scheme, and we allow for LAD 3 and HUG 1 to be combined, so using the total of those two, and that's because they were delivered under a single umbrella that was sustainable warmth. So we feel that is a good comparison with the Warm Homes Local Grant. For consortia, they may have consortium members that delivered better in certain periods, and other consortium members that delivered better in others. So consortia, for that reason, can use the sum of the best 6-month period of delivery of each of their consortium members, and therefore it doesn't need to be the same exact 6 months. If you want to use this option, then just write mixed in the first month column and then give the total number of homes completed. It could be 300. Now, it's important to stress here that if you are struggling to work out what this number might be, or even you just like some support to understand what we are asking for here, then please do reach out to the RISE service, the Retrofit Information Support and Expertise Service, who are on hand to help you prepare this EOI form. And in particular, they have information on the number of homes that you will have completed, so they will be able to give you a good idea of how to complete this section of the form. So to do that, you'll email rise@turntown.co.uk, or you can engage through the service by submitting a self-assessment form, and that's all online at Rise Retrofit. So moving onwards, in question 5b, we then ask for a capital funding request. So by this we mean capital funding excluding admin and ancillary funding. And we ask for this information for the first financial year of the scheme, so from April 2025 to March 2026, and also for subsequent financial years, because at the moment we don't know exactly how long the grant will last. We're asking for it in this format, and this is per 12 months, so it's not assuming a total runtime of the grant. It's just saying for each subsequent financial year, what would your capital funding request be? So it's important to stress here that this is a funding request, and we may scale down that request based on your past performance that you will have entered in this table, in table 5A. And also, once we have scaled all of the funding requests based on past performance, we may then remain above the total that we are ultimately allocated for the grant, and therefore we would have to scale down proportionately all bids to meet that total funding allocation. So to enter the capital funding request, you only need to enter data in these two cells. So I might enter $1 million for the first financial year, and I might then in future financial years think that I could deliver slightly more. So I could enter 1.5 million for each subsequent financial year. And that might be because I am mobilizing the first financial year, and so I'm sort of still expecting to be ramping up my delivery capacity and my contractors' delivery capacity. And it might also be because of the DAC month that I have selected in section 3. So if I've only got, say, 6 months to deliver in the first financial year, it's natural that I would be able to spend less money in that financial year. So the rest of this table is in green, and so that means that it's automatically calculated, as you'll have seen. So the table automatically adds the maximum 15% A&A allocation for the financial year, and then sums those two values to give the total grant funding that would apply to each financial year. And again, to stress, this is not a promise that is the amount of funding you will get, but rather just calculating based on the funding request that you've submitted. The table then also gives an indicative central estimate of the number of homes to be delivered in each financial year, and a range around that. That's based on a value of £12,400 of capital funding per home, which we've calculated based on our modelling is expected to be the average spend per home. This is just indicative, and you won't be held to it. You could spend more per home and therefore deliver fewer homes per financial year, or you could do the inverse and spend less per home and deliver more homes upgraded each financial year. So this is just purely to give you an indication of what we'd be expecting. The final column is the maximum upfront payment that would be associated with this grant value. So it's 20% of the total grant funding in that year, which is made up of the 15% A&A and 5% of capital. And again, this is a max upfront payment. So in certain financial years, we may decide to pay less than the full 20% if we don't think it's likely that it will be spent. In short, question 5C is asking you if you feel that you could deliver more homes per month than that is set out in table 5A, so your capacity table at the top of this section. We want you to provide justification for that here. So we will take into account the past performance when allocating funding, and we will take the the best 6 months capacity and we'll scale that up by 10% to allow for increases in capacity. And where there is strong justification provided, we may allow up to 20% above the capacity implied by Table 5A. So examples of strong justification would be that you've only ever delivered HUG previously, and there's evidence that including on-gas grid homes would increase your delivery rate, or, for example, that in your best previous project, you fully delivered the allocation that was available, and there was no extra funding on offer, meaning you were sort of limited in your delivery rate artificially. So if you think that applies to you, then just please provide some detail here. Then the final question in this section is 5D, and it's asking what percentage of homes you expect to treat that are off the gas grid. So this is a non-binding aspirational target. Warm Homes Local Grant is both on and off gas grid, and we're not setting any kind of cap on the number of on gas grid homes, but we want to make sure that we are still treating off gas grid homes, and so we're asking for as I say, a non-binding target based on what you expect to be able to do. You can adjust this target at that stage. It's not something that's going to be held against you. We just want to know what your expectation is. That's the end of section 5.